Hey, it's James. Welcome to the first episode in the Green Room. Today I'm joined by Tom. Tom, you're technically my boss, but for the next hour, I'm going to prod and poke you all about AI and sustainability. So we're agreed there's no firing allowed, right?
We'll see. No, looking forward to it.
Good. I'm glad. I'm going to say some pretty scandalous stuff. You're a guy who reads a lot about AI and the papers for fun. If you had to describe what the future looks like in 2030, what is that looking like when it comes to AI? How is that going to start developing and assisting us?
I think 2030 will look very different. AI is getting smarter, models are more used, and there's greater adoption. Society will have more people being able to outsource stuff to agents and to basically just AI that will take a lot of the admin off people's roles. This will mean in the larger scheme is obviously like a bigger conversation when it comes to jobs and what the future of work. But from the sustainability lens, I think it's going to mean less admin around data collection, chasing, compiling reports. It's going to put all the stuff that ESG and sustainability teams don't like doing, that's going to be automated. It's going to be run by AI agents. And then what will happen will then those people will have more time to add value through strategy, education, innovation, even through sales, and getting more involved in the reason why they got into sustainability, which is not to hunt down data from stakeholders. It's to actually create lasting change. So I think like bigger picture 2030, we're looking at a world where there'll be sustainability teams that will be using a lot more of AI in their work, and there'll be a lot less admin in someone's role.
I understand. And you said a lot there around AI agents. Can you just describe to the listener what an AI agent actually is?
So if you take a use case in work, probably the easiest way to think about it is a sales development rep or a business development rep, someone whose goal is to book meetings for companies. That role requires that person to be able to kind of find leads, email them, message them, try and like prompt them towards booking on a call or sending them value through a document or through a PDF or a case study, whatever. So there's like set objectives in that person's role. It's a workflow run by AI, or it's a use case that you could put towards AI and say, okay, cool, I've built an AI agent for a business development rep, for example. This AI agent can kind of replicate the roles of that person through their own processes that the AI is running. So the AI can find an email list, email the person, email back and forth. If they send a reply, it can book in a meeting. So an agent is simply just a way to describe AI in the use case of someone's work. So when someone says, oh, there's thousands of agents out there, it's just that there's loads of AI being deployed in specific use cases in marketing, sales, in operations, you name it, across every business function. So literally that's just an AI agent is executing tasks towards a goal.
What do you say to the people that say, but that agent's going to be replacing my job?
So I think if someone would sit back and be like, like they're going to accept AI is going to happen and they're not going to try and embrace it and use it in their job, ultimately, yeah, AI will probably take your job, because the way probably to think about AI is like it's a tool right now. It's definitely going to get better and better and better, but right now it's a tool to make jobs quicker and more efficient. If you're not using AI, if you're not kind of open to the idea of using AI, I think it's going to be very tricky to be able to create enough value in your role to be able to warrant you being there. Whereas if you're using AI, then you're going to be able to deliver far more output. You're going to be able to use your human side of the brain, which is very much like the relationship side of the role, rather than the more admin-based side of the role. So like best case is that you're using AI, you're making your department work smarter and quicker, and you're collecting more data for ESG, and you're able to, stay on top of all the regulations easier, for example. But if you're not using AI and still kind of stuck in your spreadsheets, I think it's going to be very difficult to have a place in the future world. No one knows the big picture, and it could change. And there's loads of risks that or issues we need to address, like the trust of AI, the security of it, the emissions it creates. There's so many other factors that come along with this. But bigger picture is everyone should be using AI in their role, because if they're not, then it's going to be very tricky to be able to like have your place in a company, because AI is going to be just as good, it's going to be better, quicker, far cheaper than a person. People really need to think about like, what's the human value that I can create in my role? And then how can I use AI to just remove the admin stuff that can be automated? So it's a bit of hopefully it's not too much of a bleak answer.
You said there around, AI being able to do the admin style tasks, and that's what we've seen with a lot of AI that's come out recently. You mentioned agents. We've seen a few agents, especially in the sales world. From an ESG perspective, with the tools that are available, whether that's kind of OpenAI's ChatGPT or niche tools, what do you believe an ESG manager could be using AI for right now? And then where do you see AI going in the future, where actually there could be some greater tools that can assist them with more of the workload?
AI right now is like, it can help with reporting. So AI is amazing at data collection, analysis, looking at large quantities of information and extracting out information from it and kind of giving insights. Right? It's really, really good at this. It's obviously makes mistakes and it hallucinates, which for anyone who doesn't know what that means, it's like the AI will try and maybe come up with an answer, or it will make up an answer because it always wants to try and give a response, and it still makes mistakes. But generally, this will just improve as far as AI goes, and it will just get more intelligent. The use case I think it will really help resolve is just the reporting side. So, collecting the data from suppliers, being able to aggregate all the information from different softwares you use, from different spreadsheets, from PDFs, so you can just compile it all in one place and just have an agent or a system, whatever you want to call it, that is just running this analysis continually, and then it can give you insights from it. I think the more interesting ones are around the preventative side of AI. With ESG, it's quite reactive, right? It's like there's a report deadline due in the end of this year. Cool, we've got to measure the data and create the report. The preventative side of AI is interesting, where it's like AI could scan the news. It could tell you, okay, cool, this supplier in the last 24 hours has had this allegation against them. We need to switch over to a new supplier in the next 24 hours before it hurts our brand, right? So the AI could spot that, it could run that task, and by 9 a.m. the next day, you could wake up and you could have like a new supplier that is recommended that solves the need of your current like supplier demands. Or it could be like looking at information from employee surveys that you have, and it could be suggesting new things that you could be doing that would be helping reduce burnout or improve engagement. So the social side of sustainability and ESG, and that's the more preventative side. So AI is actually suggesting things ahead of time that's helping you. And then you as the human can just take it and leave it, right? The role of the human is just to be able to go, okay, cool, thanks AI, that's helpful, but I need to pull the trigger on this. The human at the top will be making this. And then that person can then decide, okay, no, I think we should go with it. I don't think we should go with it. But the information has come from the AI. So first point is like AI will really solve the reporting side. It will definitely help with data collection, with report compiling, all the admin stuff. But the bigger picture and the more valuable stuff will be around the preventative side of risks and having a continuous feedback loop to the head of ESG. That's where the real value starts to unlock, in my opinion.
Going back to the preventative side, so still keeping humans in the loop slightly here.
Sure. Yeah.
When it comes to making climate decisions, when do you believe AI will be more informative? To start with, it's playing back data, giving analysis and prompts on certain things. You mentioned within the preventative side, recommending suppliers, reading the news, understanding a little bit more information. Will there be a tipping point where actually the AI will be better at decision making than a human when it comes to just focusing on climate change and carbon reduction?
I think it depends on the type of decision you're trying to make with carbon. If it's a purely data decision, then you could argue AI is going to make a better recommendation. It's going to provide a better answer than a human would now. It certainly would do it quicker. You could upload your emissions and be like, tell us the hotspots, and build a game plan in the next 48 hours. Be able to do that instantly. So I think AI can solve the carbon stuff when it comes to data. What it's going to struggle with is the more decision-based stuff, where it's like it requires more moral or ethical consequences. And there's more due diligence that needs to come from a human. AI can do 95% of the legwork, but it shouldn't, particularly with carbon, it shouldn't be making decisions without human sign-off. So I don't think we're ever going to hand over anytime soon all our decisions for AI to be like, cool, help me reduce my carbon, without someone who has sign-off of what they're saying, because the decisions that the AI might choose to the workforce.
Yeah, no, it does. I was trying to understand if there was a tipping point, but you framed it well in terms of saying it's going to make a decision based on what you're telling it. And if you're not feeding it enough information around the company's values, the people that we're working for, etc., if you send it on a blinker view in terms of focus on climate change, it's going to recommend things that aren't in the best interest for the wider organization. When we're looking at agents and you're talking around the elements, the preventative methods, etc., is AI in a position where we can really utilize that yet? Or is it still got a little bit of time before we can be adopting agents that will do what you're saying?
I think right now, yeah, if you think of your like one's role as like tiers of complexity, the very non-complex stuff at the bottom, and then like how does that eventually go up to like highly complex and influential and requires humans and multiple things, right? I think if you were to just give ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, whatever, your model and be like, cool, this is everything that I've got to do. What could you help me with? It would give you some idea of, okay, I can take that off your plate, but these things here I can't fully do. I can support you, but I can't do them. So I think AI can definitely do a lot of grunt work analysis. You can give it loads of data and it can figure it out and put it into the right format for you. It can project things for you. It can reply to emails really quickly for you. So it can do a lot of like simple things. It definitely can't do everything in the role. Even I think that. But these models are getting smarter. I'm continuously testing them, and I think everyone should be, whatever role you're in. My opinion is it's not good enough to definitely replace anything, but it can be used as a supportive function in sustainability right now. And I think one should be definitely viewing it as that of like, how could I use it to support me in my role?
It lends itself quite nicely to this next question. What do you think is more dangerous? People who don't understand AI or people who think they do?
I think both are pretty dangerous. Both are not good places to be in. I think the more dangerous one is someone who thinks they understand AI and is confident in it. Even I love AI, I read a lot about it, but I'm the first to say I don't know where it's going to go. It's a completely new technology. Whatever anyone says, unless you're a deep AI scientist, even these people argue against each other. There's no universal truth how this story is going to play out. If you're overconfident in AI, I don't think you should be there. I think you should be steering on the side of caution with it. If you don't understand anything about AI, it's also not a great position because the world's moving quick. It's moving really quick. And I've talked to people in different roles, which AI is just going to completely disrupt, like lawyers or people in medical staff, accountants. These people are doing data entry jobs. If you're not thinking about AI or trying to use AI and testing with these tools, like that's not a great place to be in. I think if you're a plumber, then, and you're like a blue collar job, it's different. You've got more time, even though robotics is moving quickly. I don't think either camp is good to be in. But I think like the way you want to view it is just be trying to use AI as much as possible.
I understand. As things go well with AI and use cases are improving in the space of ESG, if we do get it right, what does 2030 look like for a organization doing ESG?
I think every business will have a sustainability agent or ESG agent, just like every team will have a marketing agent, and we'll probably have many marketing agents and many sales agents, and it'll probably have many ESG agents in it. But I think just there will be an agent that will be working through and doing lots of your sustainability stuff and do lots of the heavy lifting, the data manual collection, all this type of stuff that will be kind of solved by AI and by an agent. So I think every business will just have this. Mark Zuckerberg used to talk about this idea of just like, every business will have thousands of agents, and all these CEOs, they always talk about this idea of they will just have every company will have loads of agents that run inside of it, as well as a team of people orchestrating how the business runs. From an ESG lens, there will be agents doing all ESG work. ESG teams will have more time back to do the kind of more influential stuff, which is really why you got into sustainability in the first place. So all as I kind of said, it's like the strategy side, it's the innovation side, it's the relationship side, working closer with the C-suite and using sustainability as a strategy rather than a reporting exercise, which is so often is just seen as, and it won't be like this PR smoke and mirrors thing. It will hopefully just be a live, measurable, real function where AI is really helping move it and making it more efficient, and then giving more time back to the ESG teams to be actually making real valuable impact in their role. By 2030, 5 years away, it could be quicker, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's what good look like, in my opinion, is you've just got all the manual work done by agents and ESG people having more time to do the more valuable stuff, which is why they got in there in the first place.
Amazing. Thanks, Tom. Tom, you've mentioned a lot around agents. I'm head of sustainability here at Futureproof. Is my job at risk?
No. And I'll tell you why. From day one, we've always been incredibly lean. So I've always had it in my goal that where using software technology and AI will never change having the heads of departments and people inside of those departments and support teams. I think where people will completely remove a function and put it to AI, I don't think that's going to work. There needs to be a human running it. No, James, I won't replace you. Plus, we won't have your weekend stories on Monday morning. I can't get rid of that for the team.
If you wanted more stories, we could utilize AI for a 3-day work week to really push the boat out.
Yeah, I think
Just planting the
let me
seeds.
come back to that one.
Just planting the seed, that's all.